All right, so today we're going to talk about your favorite 3 words.
Just ship it.
Just ship it, which is something that we bleed here at Drift, something that you brought to HubSpot team. So for people who aren't familiar with your mantra of just ship it, what does that mean?
Actually, it used to be just fucking ship it.
Just fucking ship it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then you went to a public company, you had to take out
take it down. It's just ship it. And the idea behind it was that back to something that we've talked about in the past, that we should default to being wrong. We should should try to make ourselves learning machines and learning organizations. And the best way to do that is by getting out there in front of our customers and shipping as quickly as possible so that we can start that feedback loop and that we can get better.
And part of this was the shift from like the old way of software development, which is spend weeks and weeks building something, ship it, it's either good or not, and it just wasn't iterating fast enough.
Totally, yes. And especially when you're in a smaller company, like every day and every hour that passes by is precious, right? You're burning money and you're burning time, and so you want to get as many swings at the ball.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Many at bats.
Yeah, you want
possible.
as many at bats as you can get.
Yeah. And so the best way to do that is ship as fast as possible, get feedback from your prospective customer, and then incorporate that feedback, ship again.
Gotcha. So it really ties back to just continuous learning. The point of continuous shipping is continuous learning.
Absolutely.
Not just building shit for the sake of building shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no honor in just shipping stuff or just shipping shit, as we used to say. But it's like you don't want to ship shit. You want to ship like quality stuff, and you got to figure out how to learn the difference between the two. But you want to get good learning as quickly as possible.
But it's kind of like so even though the software development method has changed, there's kind of a new. People still want to do that because it's human nature to like. You want the delayed gratification. You want to be like, I'm building something. I'm going to show you when it's done. Like, that's fun. Like, we do that. You buy a present for somebody and you're like, no, you can't have it now. You got to wait. Like, it's the same thing. It's human nature to want to have this big reveal.
Exactly. The big reveal is what we need to talk about today, right? And I see it applied to all walks of life, right? It's not just about shipping code. It's as much as to do with writing copy as it does about designing something. It's like everyone tends to like want to deliver this big surprise present.
Yeah. So like, okay, so I do marketing at Drift, and if I said to you, like if I needed to work with you closely on something, I said, all right, we're going to kick off this project on Monday. And you send me a message on Tuesday and you're like, how's everything going? And I say, good. I'm going to send you a draft of something on Saturday or Monday, a week from now. You would say what?
No fucking way.
No way.
Yeah. And I'd say, no, you got to show your work now.
But that's just a change in mentality. It's like, I don't need to show you the finished product. It's just like you get people in for feedback during the whole process.
Yeah, I totally believe in this, like showing your work and creating this, this trying to create this environment of transparency, right? And what you want to do is show the process, show your thinking process to everyone on the team, be transparent about what you're working on. And even if like day 2 is just that you just did a rough sketch and you wrote 2 sentences, and day 3 you wrote a paragraph, and day 4 you wrote 2 paragraphs, like that doesn't matter. What matters is not how much you're outputting each day and not trying to micromanage someone. It's like that you're showing your thought process and you're sharing kind of like how you're building something.
Right. And so there's kind of a couple things. It's like number one is if you need to give feedback or completely change something, you're not just going to crush that person.
Yes.
And they're not going to have to like recreate the wheel when you get this thing 7 days later and you're like, this is completely wrong. Now you've wasted a week. You've spent another week doing it.
Totally. And that's a really hard thing with the big reveal approach that most people tend to. It's really hard to give them feedback because they've invested so much time in it, and they're like a little kid who comes to you with a big present and they want you to be happy, and then you're like, oh, it's the wrong direction.
Yeah. So it's harder to give feedback for sure, but it also like you said builds trust. Like you're not hidden somewhere building something.
Nope. You're not off in a corner, and you don't have the rest of your team or the rest of your company wondering like, what is Dave doing? Dave's been hard at work. I'm sure it's something good because we've worked with Dave long enough. We know something good is going to come out of this. But, we're all wondering what exactly is going on. And I'd say for people who haven't built up the level of trust, and we're in a small company, so it's easy here, it becomes really important to show your work, right? Imagine you're a new person on the team, or imagine you're a contractor. Imagine you're someone who is working with a new team within your company, it's really important to show the progression, show how you're thinking, and show the work as you're doing it.
And it's also just kind of like it's almost like managing up. You're managing, you're creating something, but you're managing the expectations of everybody else around you. It's like, okay, I showed you this throughout 100 times throughout the process. So now if we get to the end and you want to completely change what I did, you don't get to do that.
Nope, exactly. And then I think another issue that that comes up is that usually any kind of project that you're working on, you have external dependencies, and you may have other people in the company who are working on things that are related to what you're doing. And if you wait too long for the big reveal, it will usually negatively impact a lot of other people who are working on things that are related. And we see that kind of in the development world, why for engineers, we always want them checking in their code as soon as possible, and they don't want to go too long on without checking in code, because they're going to create conflicts with other developers who are working on similar things.
Right. Or even on like, the marketing side or the design side, like somebody might be doing something similar that you could either double down and make it even more amazing.
Totally.
Or find a familiar pattern from them and bring it in.
Exactly.
All right. So the thing that we want to dispel today is, even if you're in marketing, design, whatever, sales, it's not just ship it is not just for engineering. Like this is a mantra for business.
Yeah, avoid the big reveal, right? You don't want to be off in a corner working on something for too long. And if you can at all, really try to show your work each day. Get in the habit of each day sharing with your team. And maybe sometimes they don't care what you're working on. It doesn't matter. But they know that they'll always know what Dave's working on or Tom's working on, because they're always showing their work.
Yeah. And, just tactically for people listening, like the way that we do this at Drift is we kick off every week. So our team is 15-ish people. We kick off every week, 11 a.m. first thing Monday morning. Like after everybody's kind of figured out what they want to do for the week, is we get the whole team up, get them in a circle, and everybody just goes rapid fire and they say, what's the one thing I'm working on this week? And then we bookend the week with, before everybody goes home on Friday, everybody sits around and we do show and tell, and we say, hey, what did we get done that week? Yeah. But in between that, there's all the one-to-one, conversations happening.
Totally. And that's where you should be showing your work, right? You should be showing what's happening there. And that way you can learn, you can build a better product, write a better blog post, design a better thing, because you're getting feedback from your team.
Yeah, cool. So avoid the big reveal.
That's it. Just ship it. Or just fucking ship it.
There you go. Cool.